What's going on, guys? JSGC here, and we are here for another football video. Today we're going to be doing my Premier League predictions ahead of Manchester City potentially winning the Premier League into Premier League matchday number 38, the final Premier League game of the season. So before I do crack on with this video, make sure, like always, if you are enjoying the content, do subscribe to my channel. It is free to subscribe. Also, don't forget social media links. They're in the description if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter, Instagram and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. Do get your thoughts in the comments below, including your predictions ahead of Premier League matchday number 38 and the final game in the Premier League season for the 2023-2024 year. Also, don't forget as well to leave a thumbs up. That would be brilliant. Finally, I would say a big thank you to today's video sponsor, which is brought to you by Kitbag, who have got all the latest releases of Manchester City's new home jersey ahead of the 2024-2025 season. You can go and check it out. Links and details there in the description. I want to say a big thank you to Kitbag for sponsoring this video. So, having a look at my predictions from the last Premier League round, matchday number 37. Ended up getting 1 correct score, 3 correct results and 6 incorrect. Not my best performance, just a 2 out of 10 after having a good week the week before. So there we are. So on Saturday 11th of May, you had Fulham taking on Manchester City. I had that down as a 2-0 City win. City won 4-0 comprehensive, so a correct result there. I had Bournemouth Brentford down as a 0-0. Brentford picked up a solid 2-1 win away against Bournemouth there, so a good 3 points for them. Everton won against Sheffield United by 1-0. I had that down as a 2-0 Everton win. Again, not too far away. Newcastle Brighton, I went for a 2-0 Newcastle win. Brighton picked up a brilliant point at St James's Park, and that point could be quite costly for Newcastle come the end of the season and making the difference between the Europa Conference League and also the difference between them making the Europa League. I had Spurs 2-1 victors over Burnley, which I was spot on with. West Ham took on Luton. I thought Luton might have sprung a surprise. West Ham were in really poor form. I went with a 2-1 Luton win, finished 3-1 to West Ham there, and a big 3 points there for the Hammers ahead of their game against Manchester City this weekend. Can they use that confidence to try and do Arsenal a favour? I don't think that's going to happen, but we will see. Wolves taking on Palace. I had that down as a 1-0 Wolves win, finished 3-1 Crystal Palace. It seems to have been a theme for the whole season. Every time I back Wolves to win, they lose. And every time I back Wolves to lose, they end up winning, so 3-1 victors there. For Crystal Palace, in the final game last Saturday, you had Nottingham Forest taking on Chelsea. I had that down as a 2-0 Chelsea win. Chelsea did get the 3 points in the end in an entertaining 3-2 victory there for themselves. Not really going to make any difference there with Luton also losing and Nottingham Forest losing. The goal difference is going to be too much, and Luton, unfortunately, are going to be relegated. We did see Burnley, because of that loss against Spurs, also relegated out of the Premier League. And then on Sunday, you had Man United taking on Arsenal. I had that down as a 2-2 draw. Arsenal picked up a solid 1-0 victory to put pressure onto Manchester City ahead of their away match against Spurs. You had Aston Villa taking on Liverpool. I had that down as a 2-1 Liverpool win, finished 3-3. It was a weird game, that, a really weird game. So points shared there for Aston Villa and Liverpool, and it put Aston Villa in the ascendancy when it comes to qualification for the Champions League, which was confirmed just one night later as Manchester City won 2-0 against Tottenham Hotspur, which means Manchester City now just need 1 win to even match Arsenal's result against Everton this weekend, or Man City better Arsenal's result. Anything will do there for Manchester City to win the Premier League, but the simple formula is Man City win this weekend, they win the Premier League. If Man City don't win and Arsenal do, they win the Premier League. That's pretty much the formality of it. And that victory over Spurs has confirmed that Manchester City now are the only team that have it in their own hands ahead of the final game of the season tomorrow. Heung-min Son missing that big opportunity towards the end. It could be a title-winning save coming in from Stefan Ortega Moreno in goal for Manchester City. And then on Wednesday, the last of the games in hand, you had Brighton taking on Chelsea. Chelsea won that game by 2-1, which means they're now in the driving seat for securing qualification into the Europa League for next season. And Manchester United took on Newcastle and won 3-2, and keeping things nice and open when it comes to potential qualification either into the Europa League, the Europa Conference League, and one of the teams missing out altogether. So as I said, 2 out of 10, 1 correct score, 3 correct results, 6 incorrect for me. So onto the Premier League table, just having a look at some permutations ahead of the conclusion of the Premier League season. As I said, Man City win the league if they win in their home game against West Ham tomorrow. Arsenal must hope that Man City drop points and they win, and that will be enough for them, with them having a superior goal difference. Man City either draw or lose and Arsenal win, then they would win the Premier League. Liverpool are out of the title race, and they've already secured 3rd place as Jurgen Klopp has his final game of his tenure in charge at Liverpool. Aston Villa have secured Champions League qualification as well. Tottenham Hotspur needing just a point to confirm their 5th place finish. They've already secured Europa League football for next season. For Chelsea, they're needing just a point to seal a 6th place finish, which will be enough for them to go into the Europa League. And as I said, if Chelsea end up losing, Newcastle win, then they would leapfrog Chelsea and they would go into 6th place and seal qualification into the Europa League and not the Europa Conference League. Manchester United need to hope that Newcastle drop points and they win, and that would then put them into the Europa Conference League. It's not do all and end all for Man United though, because they're in the FA Cup final. If they beat Manchester City next week in that FA Cup final, then they will seal qualification into the Europa League. So we'll see what happens for there. Then there's a big middle order pack, and at the bottom it's all done and dusted. Sheffield United relegated, Burnley relegated, Luton not mathematically relegated, but they're needing a goal swing of 12 goals between them and Nottingham Forest to try and stay in the Premier League, as they're trailing Nottingham Forest by 3 points. Everyone north of Nottingham Forest are safe in the Premier League. So match day number 38, let's do it. All games taking place on Sunday, May 19th, all with 4 p.m. BST kickoff times. Live on TNT Sports, you've got Arsenal taking on Everton. On Sky Sports, you've got Chelsea taking on AFC Bournemouth. You've got Liverpool taking on Wolves, and you've got Manchester City taking on Fulham. So, Arsenal against Everton. I think Arsenal are going to go all guns blazing at Everton. I'm going for a 3-0 Arsenal victory. I think they'll score 3 goals inside the first 25 minutes, and then I think they'll just keep their ears open to the game in Manchester at the Etihad Stadium and see what's going on from there. Arsenal will try and kill that game as quickly as possible to try and put City under pressure in the hope that maybe West Ham can park the bus and keep things nice and tight and nice and close. I don't think it's going to happen though. But stranger things have happened. Final game of the season. Anything can happen. You've got Brentford taking on Newcastle. I'm going for a 2-0 Newcastle away victory there, and putting some pressure there onto Chelsea and trying to seal qualification into Europa League, and that would be enough for Newcastle with the goal difference for them to seal their Europa Conference League football for next season. I'm going for a 2-1 victory for Brighton against Manchester United, and as I said, Man United do all and end all of the season being alright or not for them goes on to the FA Cup next weekend in that Manchester derby at Wembley against Manchester City. You've got Burnley taking on Nottingham Forest. I think a score draw, both teams cancelling themselves out, and that point would mathematically seal Nottingham Forest's stay in the Premier League for next season. You've got Chelsea taking on Bournemouth, going for a 2-0 Chelsea win to seal Europa League football. And from the position that they've been in, I think that's pretty successful for the second half of the season there for Chelsea. And it's a catalyst, it's a pedestal, something for them to build on for next season. Another victory for them and another plus 3 points. You've got Crystal Palace taking on Aston Villa. Difficult game that for Villa. I'm going for a 2-1 Palace win because Aston Villa have been celebrating getting into the Champions League all week. They've got the flip-flops on. They're on the beach. Going for a 2-1 victory there for Crystal Palace. Aston Villa probably don't care. Who blames them? In Jurgen Klopp's final game against Wolves, I'm going for a 3-0 victory there for Liverpool as well. Another 3 points for Jurgen Klopp, a clean sheet and 3 goals, and that'll see him wave goodbye to Anfield. You got Luton taking on Fulham. I think Luton will win that game in the hope that Nottingham Forest may end up losing, 11, 12-0. See what happens. Going for a 2-1 victory there for Luton in their, what will probably be their final game in the Premier League. Not ever, but their final game in the Premier League for this season, and they're going to be relegated. In my opinion, you've got Sheffield United taking on Spurs, going for a 2-0 Tottenham Hotspur victory, and in the final game, you've got Manchester City taking on West Ham. Are Man City going to win the Premier League? Well, going back to what I just said about Arsenal killing things off very early, I think Manchester City are going to do the same. I think West Ham's only outlet into the game is for them to play a low block, 11 men behind the ball, hope they can sneak a counter-attack, sneak 1 or 2 opportunities and put the ball into the back of the net. If not, just try not to concede and have literally every player behind the ball. City will be aware of it, and I think City will just start going ham, pepper in the goal in the hope that something will sneak, a deflected goal, something will go in, and I think once 1 goes in, I can see West Ham's heads going and it being 2, 3, even 4 and beyond. It all depends on what Manchester City want to do. do, but I'm going for Man City to score 3 first half goals there, and City to win that game by 3-0, and Manchester City to win the 2023-2024 Premier League, and Man City to make history in becoming the first ever side to win 4 Premier League games in a row. So there we go. They have been my thoughts. Do let me know your thoughts, guys, in the comments below, including your predictions for Premier League match day number 38, the final game of the Premier League season. Also, don't forget as well to subscribe if you're new around here. Press that red button, press the bell, and put your push notifications on. Social media links, they're in the description. If you want to go and follow me on my Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, email also in the description too. If you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries, don't forget to leave your thoughts in the comments below. Do leave a thumbs up, and do go and check out today's video sponsor, which is brought to you by Kitbag, who have got the latest jersey for Manchester City for the 2024-2025 season. Do go and check it out. Links and details there in the description. And thank you very much to Kitbag for sponsoring this video. And I'll see you all again for my final prediction. So I'll go a summary of what happened on the Premier League final day, and I'll give my predictions ahead of the Europa Conference League, the Europa League, the Champions League final, all the big European finals, and the FA Cup final as well, going into next weekend. So I'll see you then. So I've been JSGC. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope everyone is safe and well. Peace. Ciao for now.